Hello everyone, thank you all for joining us today at the Odoo Experience 2020. My name is Andri Manse and I'm the Key Account Manager at Odoo. We are here today in order to interview one of our customers and share with you their customer success story. I have with me Rones Constantinou, the Director of KIK Group, our customer in Cyprus who operates in the retail industry. And at the same time, I have also Karl Melki, the Digital Transformation Consultant of Everteam Business Solutions. Before we jump into the interview, I would like to ask all of you to keep typing your questions, as we will have a Q&A session in the end of the session, and we will be able to address all of your questions, at least as many as possible. So, without further ado, I would like to introduce both of my guests. So, Rones Constantinou and Karl Melki, thank you both for joining us and welcome at the Odoo Experience 2020.
Thank you for the invitation.
Thank you for having us, Entry.
It is a pleasure to have you. So, Rones, how about we start with an introductory question? Can you please introduce your company to us? What do you do as a business? A little bit of the story behind.
Yes, as you said, our company is based in Cyprus. Currently, is employing more than 300 persons. It consists of two divisions. One division is the retail part, and the other division is the main trading part, which we import and distribute FMCG products across the island. Needless to say that the company is a family business.
Perfect. That's always nice to hear. And it's great actually to see such a success coming from a family business. Congratulations on that. How about you, Karl? Would you mind sharing with us the story of Everteam?
So, as a brief intro, Everteam is a French global company that was founded in 1990, and it started out as a content management and information governance company. And then later on with time, it developed the capabilities and opened new departments to handle business solutions. Now, we have been partners of Odoo for the past 3 years. We cover all the Middle East and the Northern Africa regions, in addition to Europe, which is the main homeland of the company.
Perfect. That is great to hear. And thank you for the collaboration for all those years. Rones, I would like to ask you a little bit about the project and a little bit about the scope. Would you mind sharing with me what is the scope of the project and which are the departments or the business processes that you wanted to optimize in your business and therefore you introduced Odoo?
This is an easy question. Actually, is to digitalize the whole company in people world. So we have asked Everteam to support us to digitalize the whole process of all the departments, starting, let's say, from the HR until the point of sale of the company. So it's from the start to the end of all the company in all the departments.
Perfect. And how has this experience been so far of basically digitalizing the whole company on Odoo?
It's challenging because first of all we have to identify the whole processes across the different departments. Of course, in this process we have to improve also the way how the company works. So sometimes we identify some mistakes we had within the old process. So it's two parts. Is the part that we digitalize with a new software, and the other part that we improve our processes in the company.
I see. And what has your experience been, Karl, in this process, the whole digitalization process? Can you share it with us?
Well, to be honest, 2020 was a challenging year. We started out with a pandemic in early February. And this is on top of the natural challenges that you might face while implementing an enterprise resource planning solution. So, the pandemic had restricted us from visiting on site, being on site, traveling, meeting up with our partners, in addition to our close clients, which one of them happens to be KIK Trading. But due to the many technologies that are now present in the world, we're able to connect and interact and complete projects fully remotely. Now, nonetheless, regarding that was regarding the general part. But to be more specific, usually a study by McKinsey proved that the human factor is responsible of more than 70% of all the failures of the ERP implementation projects. Why? Usually, if ERP aren't user-friendly solutions, most of them on the market. The point Odoo that really facilitated during the whole process, and it was easy to adopt, it was easy to lead change with it, it was easy for the users to feel familiar with the product, and this I think removed many challenges for us.
It's great to hear that. It's indeed a very challenging experience to implement a full ERP system, and especially in this large business scope. And at the same time, indeed, you mentioned the struggles and challenges of 2020, which obviously we don't have any power over them. We just have to find our ways around them. But thankfully, technology has helped us in that, and therefore, digital transformation is definitely a key aspect in the continuation of business. So, how about the challenges that you're facing before Odoo, Rones? Would you mind elaborating and explaining to us what were the challenges and pain points that actually made you consider a product like Odoo in order to digitalize your company?
Yes, the main problem that we was facing is the fact that we used to have different kind of software for different processes. For example, we used to have a different software for the fleet management, a different software for payroll, a different software for the field working. So all these functions now can be integrated in one platform, which is Odoo. This is a challenging point, I can say, and this is what made us to rethink and go ahead for the Odoo system.
Perfect. And may I ask, how has been the experience basically going from this environment of multiple modular solutions interconnected with each other, which I would imagine had a lot of issues in many aspects of the business, going to basically a flawless integration where you're using one platform in order to manage your whole business? How has this experience been for you?
Exactly. It was very, very hard to integrate different platforms, and of course, in many cases, we didn't took the risk. We didn't take the risk to integrate the platform because, as you know, integrations needs to double check everything and rethink the whole process. So now having Odoo is something that it was like a dream for us.
It's very nice to hear. Like a dream came true.
Exactly. It's like a dream come true. So it gives us a saving of time. The employees are feeling more comfortable. The system is more user friendly. So no need for integrations anymore.
Perfect.
Don't forget, Entry, that the project encompassed almost 30 modules. So we're not talking about 5, 6, 7 modules that could be implemented, just remove a few legacy systems. We're talking about, Rones had around 7 to 8 legacy systems. So we had to cover the financial part, we had to cover supply chain, we had to cover for the fleet and field services, in addition to maintenance and all the other modules related to administration, such as document management, help desk, and so on.
Indeed. I think it's perfect the way Rones said it. Maybe I can adjust a little bit his statement and say that we went from a nightmare to the dream. So it's great to hear that actually there's been a positive experience for our customer.
Yeah.
And how about you, Carl? Because of course the business scope has been very large, and therefore the complexity of the project as well has been very high. How has this experience of going from a company with a large business scope of different applications that are interconnected with each other from different platforms been when you have to basically go to a fully integrated ERP system that of course makes the process much easier. Can you share with us your point of view from the partner, from the implementer?
So let's say that we started out by dealing with a nightmare, as you described it. So we were taking on the nightmare and we wanted to turn it into a full success story. So the first step was obviously to analyze the current system that are currently in place. So we needed to know what each system is actually doing. What's the duty? What's the specific features? What features is it lacking? And how Odoo can fill the gap and let's say compensate for all of the missing features and the missing strong points that the other systems had. Mm-hmm. So to be very honest, it was a pleasant experience, because you're not talking about going to a large company such as KIK. You're not going to a large company and specifically working in a small area. You're trying to fully automate everything on your platform, so you wouldn't worry about the third-party legacy system not being very cooperative from their side. You want to worry about their technical ability to integrate with your system in certain areas. So these all, these small factors really affected the way the implementation went and the whole experience for us and our team. Mm-hmm. And I would say, again, Odoo, due to its scalable and flexible nature, we were able to easily implement all of these in a successful manner.
Perfect. I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear about this perfect success story. And how about a question then, in order to provide you, let's say, I will try to challenge you now. What is the thing that you value the most about Odoo? I know this is a very difficult question because there are so many things that you can point out, but if you had to choose, let's say, I will give you the choice of a couple. What is the things that actually you find the most valuable in your ERP system, Rones, at this point?
Okay, as I will repeat myself again, the fact that this is one platform that almost eliminates the integration of third-party applications. This is the first one. The second one, I can say, is the user-friendliness of the system. And the third one, it can be the fact that we can develop the application. Mm-hmm. We can expand the ability of the application, even if now is not in the base, in the simple base of Odoo, let's say. So we can develop, we can expand the ability of the system. Mm-hmm. In any time.
Indeed. So you mean that the platform itself is actually not only very scalable through the ecosystem that we have around it, exactly, but is actually very easy to develop. Perfect. I would agree with you, absolutely. And how about you, Carl? From your point of view, what are the things that you value the most about Odoo? If I would have to challenge you and ask you to say just a couple.
I like to stress a lot on the user friendliness of Odoo. Because it's not, I'm just not saying that because I'm a partner of Odoo. I'm saying that because as a company, before having Odoo, we were implementing other brands. I'm not going to name them just to avoid lawsuits, but but we used to have many other ERP systems that are well known in the world, and that we used to implement. So first of all, what used to take let's say 10 hours to develop on X platform now takes 1 to 2 hours on Odoo. Why? Because of the architecture, because of the Python. It's written in Python. It's not in any other language, and for many other reasons. The second most important factor is user friendliness again, because if you look at other platforms, people are not very responsive to them. When you look at huge systems, you get scared, whereas Odoo is huge, and for the record, it has the largest third-party apps market. Nevertheless, it's still very easily to adopt by the users. I can challenge you. I can bring anyone, or let's say anyone from the audience right now. We can just let them share their screen, and we will task them to do something, and they will do it themselves. So that's how easy Odoo is. And this is one of the main points that we like to stress on.
Perfect, perfect. Thank you for your answer, Carl. And maybe now to wrap up, one last question for both of you. The first question for Rones. I'm pretty sure that in the audience right now we have customers, or actually people that are looking at Odoo, whether they are prospects or whether there are people that are interested into digitalizing their company as well. So what would be your advice, Rones, to yourself before Odoo? So remember those times that actually you were still in the process of taking the decision to go with Odoo. What would be the feedback to you back then? Was that a good experience? Was that a positive response? Would you do it again? Would you basically give the feedback to our prospects in the audience, proceed with Odoo based on your experience?
Yes, for sure. I cannot find a reason why not to proceed with Odoo. If it was not the pandemic that was, let's say, it was in the middle of the implementation process and the planning process this year, things will even go much better. So I cannot say that we made something wrong or in this process. So I cannot find any reason really to say something bad about the system, or to say to find a way to improve. Of course, in order to digitalize a company from scratch needs a lot of planning. So a planning should be done in the correct way, in the correct timing.
Perfect, perfect. I appreciate your response, and I absolutely agree with you. What about you, Carl? From your point of view as a partner, being with Odoo for so many years and looking the progress of Odoo, what is it that you would like to share with our audience about the growth of the company, the growth of the product, and basically your experience so far as a gold partner in the company?
Well, I actually happen to be one of the earliest people to have taken a look at Odoo once we had formed a partnership with you. To be very honest, I did not see the full potential of the product until I tested it myself. You know, at first when you look at Odoo, you say this is a mobile application, this is a small application, but when you start diving into the software and you look at all the capabilities and all of the features it has, you would be really amazed. And why? It's mainly because of the value versus price ratio. So compared to what you would be paying millions to get on other platforms, you're getting it for much less on Odoo. And again, usually price is not the main turning point of our customers, but rather Odoo itself. Odoo itself is as Rones said, something it's out of the norm of the ERP market. It's not a traditional ERP. It's something else.
I absolutely agree with you on that. That being said, I really want to thank you guys for this lovely interview, for this lovely experience, and actually I'm more than happy to hear what you had to say, Rones. Therefore, with that, I would like us both to actually jump into the Q&A session and try and answer as many questions as we can. Thank you very much for your time, and Rones, thank you very much for your trust and for this positive experience that you shared with us. Thank you, Carl, also for being a key factor in this implementation.
Thank you, Andrew.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Hello everyone, welcome back for the Q&A session. Thank you for enjoying this session with us, and now we'll jump back with our guests into all the questions that you might have. So, Rones, Carl, are you ready?
Yes.
Ready. Go ahead.
Perfect. Let's see. Let's take a look into the questions, and maybe we can answer also a few generic questions. So, for instance, maybe a question to Rones. Rones, can you elaborate a little bit on your experience being able to manage with Odoo basically the whole business, and that including basically all the business processes such as accounting, HR, procurement, so these important business processes. as your ERP, but at the same time being able to manage also your retail side, like the POS. So can you elaborate with us a little bit your experience on this fact, being able to manage both?
Of course, as I said in my introduction, Odoo provides a uniformity across all the business, so it's more easy in one platform to control all the processes and even a huge business bigger than our company. My opinion is very positive towards Odoo that provides this benefit, the uniformity of the system.
Mm-hmm. Perfect. And maybe we can jump into a question from Tony. Tony is asking, basically, how did Ever Business Solution contributed in this journey? Do you provide the consultancy and the procedural fine-tuned services for this transformation journey? So maybe we can give this question to Carl and you can elaborate further on this.
For sure. Now, as we already mentioned, Ever Business Solutions is part of a big group and a group that brings over 30 years of experience in business process management, correspondence tracking, and document management. So we're familiar with the whole paperless concept. Actually, we're leaders in this domain. And with the additional experience that we've had for the past 10 years with ERP solutions, implementing them across different sectors, it was, I wouldn't say very simple, but it was kind of familiar for the team to be able to implement such a large-scale solution for KIK trading. Now, how we contributed, we actually started out by analyzing all the business processes of the legacy systems that were currently in place, analyzing the business processes of all the different departments and all of the different functions of the company. So after putting out a clear plan, after defining the specific business cases, we were able to map out the whole journey and the whole, let's say, deployment plan for the solution. So this is where our expertise helped us the most.
Perfect. I'm pretty sure also the years of experience were a great competitive advantage for you to be able to deliver a success story on this project. Ronis, may I ask you about the experience of actually trying to find an ERP solution that will be able to manage also the retail side? So was it easy for you to find somebody who can address basically everything in your business?
No, I think this was the most difficult part, to be honest. Nowadays, usually the systems are stronger in specific parts of the business. So to find a program or a system, a complete solution like Odoo, it was the most hard part of this study that we make before considering Odoo. So
I see. And what would you say, for instance, across all around the world to prospects of Odoo who are considering to start with Odoo, but probably haven't heard of Odoo, haven't heard of the Odoo brand, and maybe they're hesitant in the beginning? What would you say? How was this process for you to basically choose Odoo, even though there are also other players in the market that contacted you and wanted to win this project?
The big job was done by Ever team to convince us that they can do a professional job. So we had a very nice introduction. We was convinced that this system, it was the right solution. So of course, the numbers and the value of this system, it was in the standard of our company that we took the risk, let's say, to use and to involve in this project. So it's a system with value of money, first of all.
Perfect.
So for us, it was a very, very small risk.
I see. So you see that the return on investment is much higher than any other system that will come on the table. I see. Exactly. I see your point. Thank you. And what are maybe the challenges that a retail company actually is facing and you are able to address with the introduction of the Odoo software in your company? Could we maybe elaborate on that? We have just 2 minutes in order to wrap up this session. So maybe we can answer this question too.
In the retail sector is the most dynamic sector, maybe of all the businesses worldwide. So you have to be online. You have to be. Our shops is 24 hours. So imagine that the software have to be reliable, have to be live, has to be fast. So this is the most, let's say, important points that we see, and we are very satisfied with Odoo. This is the experience from Odoo.
Perfect. Thank you very much for your answer, Rones. And a quick question, we just have 1 minute, so maybe I can ask this question and wrap this up, Carl, with this last minute that we have left. In your experience, do you think also that Odoo could be a software that could be implemented by bigger companies, worldwide companies with presence into multiple states, multiple countries, etc.? So do you think the size of the company would make a difference, or would still be a success story like in our case with KIK?
Usually, I wouldn't say the size of the company would really matter, for the simple reason that KIK Trading is a medium to large organization. However, the business processes that they have and the different functions that they have, they are pretty, they're complex, they're rich. So they're indeed a medium to large company, but they operate like a global company. So you have all of the supply chains requirements that we have to fulfill, the financials management, all of that. So implementing this for another global retailer, I think we would face the similar maybe challenges. I wouldn't call them obstacles, similar challenges, but I'm pretty sure we will get a good success story.
Perfect. Thank you very much for your answer, Carl. Thank you very much for joining us, Rones and Carl, for this Q&A session. I think it is time for us to wrap it up. Thank you everyone for joining us, and I hope you enjoyed this session together with Rones and Carl. Have a great rest of your evening.
Thank you, Andrew.
Thank you very much for the invitation.
Bye-bye.